Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books in Bytes. Today we're going to take a deep dive into Roadside Picnic
Roadside Picnic, yeah.
by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. And
The Strugatsky brothers.
yeah, and this book is really interesting. It's not your typical alien invasion story.
No, not all.
It's really strange and thought-provoking.
Right, it's more like the aftermath of an alien visit, like they just stopped by Earth, for a quick picnic.
Picnics?
And then left behind all this weird stuff.
Yes, like they just dropped in, had lunch, and then took off.
Exactly. And they left behind these 6 zones, these mysterious areas filled with all these bizarre and often dangerous things. Artifacts, we call them.
Yeah, artifacts. And we never actually meet the aliens in the book.
No, never.
It's kind of like finding, leftover potato salad in a crumpled napkin.
Exactly.
But you never see the picnickers themselves.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so unsettling.
So imagine you're living in this world. It's years after this alien visit, and the zones are cordoned off.
Right.
But they've totally changed everything.
Right. Like, how do you even begin to understand something like that?
The book really explores how humanity grapples with that, with the unknown.
The unknown. And, the temptation of all this alien technology just lying around.
The lure of forbidden knowledge.
Exactly. And the ethical dilemmas, too. How do you even interact with something you can't understand? It's like Stanislaw Lem, the science fiction writer.
Yeah.
He talked about this, the myth of our cognitive universalism. Like, we assume we can understand everything.
Right.
But what if we just can't? What if these aliens are so different from us?
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's where our main character comes in, Redrick Schuhart. He's a stalker.
A stalker?
Yeah, one of the few who risk their lives going into the zone to get these alien artifacts.
Oh, wow. So he's like a scavenger, a treasure hunter.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's dangerous work.
Sounds like it.
But it pays.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs the money.
So he's driven by necessity then?
Partly. But also, there's something about the zone that just pulls him in. It's like he's fascinated by
He's
it.
got this hold on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see this right from the start. The book opens with Redrick sneaking into the zone at night.
At night. So it's illegal.
Definitely illegal.
Uh-oh.
And dangerous. He's navigating all these deadly traps and crazy phenomena to get this thing called a full empty.
A full empty? What's that?
Well, it's basically a container full of this stuff they call hell slime.
Hell slime. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What is hell slime?
It's this, well, I don't even know how to describe it. It's this viscous substance that can dissolve and rearrange matter at the molecular level.
Whoa, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, the scientists are baffled by it. Even Redrick, who's been in the zone countless times, he's terrified of it.
I can see why.
There's this great line early on. Redrick's friend, Kirill, says, "I've been in plenty of scrapes, but even a lousy empty scares the hell out of me."
Yeah, I can imagine. But they keep going back.
They do. They know how dangerous it is.
But the allure of the zone and the money, I guess.
The money's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than that. Maybe a need to understand.
Push the boundaries.
Exactly.
So Redrick is motivated by this need, but he's also got a family to support.
Right.
Now.
And that adds another layer of complexity, especially with his daughter.
His daughter.
Yeah. She's been affected by his work in the zone.
Oh, how so?
Oh, she was born with mutations. They call her the monkey.
The monkey. That's sad.
Yeah, it's really tragic. And it brings up a big ethical question. How much are we willing to risk for progress, for knowledge?
Right. Are we willing to sacrifice the health of future generations?
Exactly. And Redrick feels really guilty about it. He wants to give his daughter a better life, but he's stuck in this cycle.
Of risk and reward.
Yeah. He knows the zone is dangerous, but he can't stay away.
So it's like curiosity killed the cat.
But in this case,
Satisfaction might bring it back.
maybe. At least that's what he's hoping for.
It makes you think, what would you do in that situation?
And it's not just Redrick and the stalkers who are affected. The whole world has changed because of the zones.
Right. The world outside the zones, too.
You have scientists studying the artifacts, governments trying to control access.
And then there's the black market for alien tech.
Exactly. A whole underground economy has sprung up around the zones.
Making it even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Blurring the lines between science and, shady dealings.
Yeah. And then there's this guy, Richard Doonan. He works for some kind of secret government agency.
Trying to figure out what to do with the zones.
Yeah, how to control them, exploit them, whatever. He sees the zones as both a threat and an opportunity.
Which is kind of how everyone sees them, right?
Yeah. There's this great line from Noonan. He says, "If it wasn't the visit, it would have been something else. Pigs can always find mud."
That's bleak.
It is. But it's also kind of true. It's like no matter what, humanity will always find a way to mess things up.
Even when faced with something as amazing as the zone.
Exactly. And that's what makes Roadside Picnic so thought-provoking. It asks these big questions about human nature and our place in the universe.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what would we do if something like this happened in real life?
That's a good question. And one that Roadside Picnic forces us to confront.
It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about what drives us as humans, right? Like, is it curiosity, greed, or a mix of both?
Yeah, are we just drawn to the unknown, even if it's dangerous?
And Roadside Picnic doesn't give us any easy answers. It just keeps pulling us deeper into the zone.
Like literally deeper.
Well, yeah, as Redrick goes further into the zone, but also deeper into the mystery, into the questions the book raises. And we start to see this unsettling beauty in the zone, too. Like there's this one passage describing the abandoned town dump.
The dump.
Yeah, it's eerie. It says, "It was quiet and sunny. A perfect day for a picnic."
Whoa. That's chilling.
Right. This contrast of the normal with a completely alien.
Yeah, the book does a great job of blending those things, the dread and the wonder. You never know what's around the corner.
And the artifacts, we talked about the hell slime, but there's also these empties, like containers that defy gravity.
Defy gravity. How?
Nobody knows. That's the thing. And then there are black sparks, which are these little beads that can bend time and space.
Okay, now that's just messing with my head.
Right. Each artifact is like a challenge to our understanding of the universe. The scientists at the International Institute are trying to figure them out.
But they're hitting a wall.
Big time. It's like they're trying to solve a puzzle, but with half the pieces missing.
So they're going crazy trying to make sense of it all.
Pretty much. And one of those scientists is Dr. Valentine Pillman. He's brilliant, but also a bit eccentric. He's devoted his life to studying the zone.
So he's like the ultimate zone nerd.
Basically.
Yeah.
But even he's humbled by it. There's a part where he says, "We are studying the fingerprints of God."
Wow. That's a powerful statement.
It is. It's like he's admitting that there are things out there that are way beyond our understanding.
Which goes back to that cognitive universalism idea, right? Like maybe we just can't grasp it.
Exactly. It's like, imagine trying to explain quantum physics to a dog.
Good luck with that. So Roadside Picnic really makes us confront that gap in our understanding.
It does. It forces us to question our assumptions about the universe and our place in it.
It's like the zone is this giant mirror reflecting our own limitations back at us.
Yeah, it's a humbling experience. But you know, while we were talking about Dr. Pillman and the scientist, I was thinking about the flip side. The people who are trying to profit from the zone.
Right, like Richard Noonan and the black market for alien artifacts.
Exactly. The zone has created this weird economy where people are willing to risk everything just to get their hands on something valuable.
It's like a gold rush, but with alien tech instead of gold, and the stakes are even higher.
Definitely. And then there's the ultimate prize, the golden sphere.
The one that grants wishes.
The one and only. It's like the holy grail of the zone.
So it represents this human desire for something more, something magical.
Yeah, like a quick fix for all our problems.
Yeah.
But what would you even wish for if you had the chance? And at what cost?
That's a good question. Would it even be worth it?
The book makes you think about that. There's this scene where Redrick and a young guy named Arthur are trying to get to the sphere.
Arthur.
Yeah. His father was crippled by the zone, and he thinks the sphere can heal him.
So he's driven by desperation.
Yeah. And you see this hope in his eyes, but also this fear, because the journey to the sphere is dangerous, physically and mentally.
Like the zone itself is testing them.
Exactly. And makes you wonder if reaching the sphere is even worth the risk.
It really highlights the moral gray areas of the book, doesn't it?
It does. There are no easy answers. And the ending is even more ambiguous.
Yeah, that ambiguity. It makes you question everything.
It does. And it's something that runs throughout the book, these characters making tough choices and not always knowing what the outcome will be.
They're stuck in this world where the rules are broken.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And it's not like there are good guys and bad guys. It's all shades of gray.
Yeah, it's more like real life, you know?
And that's what makes the characters feel so real. Like Redrick. He does some shady stuff, but you still kind of root for him.
You can relate to his struggles.
Yeah. He's just trying to survive in this crazy world the best way he knows how.
Trying to do right by his family.
Exactly. There's this line where he says, "It's a full empty, only the good stuff isn't visible yet."
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hmm.
What do you think he means by that?
Well, I think it captures that mix of hope and despair that Redrick feels about the zone. It's dangerous, but he still believes there's something good in there, something valuable.
Like it's just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah. He's saying we might not understand it now, but that doesn't mean it's not worth exploring.
So it's that push and pull between fear and hope. The desire for knowledge, but the fear of what we might find.
And ultimately, the book doesn't give us a clear resolution. We're left with more questions than answers.
Especially with that ending.
I know. We see Redrick reach the golden sphere after everything he's been through, and then...
And then nothing.
Yeah, it just ends. We don't know what he wishes for or what happens next.
It's almost like the authors are saying, it's up to you to decide.
Right. It makes you think about what you would wish for, what would be worth risking everything for.
And what the consequences might be. That's what makes Roadside Picnic stay with you long after you've finished it.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. What would you say is the big takeaway from Roadside Picnic?
Well, I think it's this. The book is a really profound exploration of what happens when humanity meets something truly alien, something we can't understand.
It shakes up our ideas about progress and technology.
And ultimately, it makes us question our place in the universe. Like, are we really as special as we think we are?
It's definitely a humbling experience.
Yeah.
But it's also a really engaging story with these vivid characters and a haunting atmosphere.
So if you're looking for a book that will challenge your assumptions and stay with you, Roadside Picnic is it. It's a sci-fi masterpiece.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive into books and bytes.